we're here with Ciara Mageean at the London Mini Marathon. Ciara, you've just been sort of on presenting duties to all these young athletes. You were in that position yourself before. How does it feel to be back and to see it all unfolding again?
Do you know what? It's bringing back floods of memories of my time at the London Mini Marathon. We were flicking through the record books, and I won the Mini Marathon back in 2009. So I'm standing here feeling very old, but in reality nothing's changed. The course may be slightly different, the young athletes come through and they're all different, but the energy's still the same, and the excitement, and the fact that this is a lovely stepping stone for our future Olympians and our future world champions. It's so lovely to see if you flick down the names, all of the previous champions, but also I looked down through and saw that Laura Muir came, I think, 26th in her mini marathon, which is a testament to the young ones out there. Sometimes I think if you come first, that's who you're going to be. You know, as long as you stay in your sport, you work hard. So it's fantastic, and to see that it's becoming a participation event too, that it's not simply about the highest level, it's about getting youngsters out and involved in our sport and have a lifelong love for being active. It really encapsulates everything that I love about our sport, and yeah, it's contagious to be here on London Marathon weekend.
What did it mean to you when you won it?
Do you know what? It was a pretty big deal. Coming over from home and beating all of the Brits. Whenever I'm coming over from Northern Ireland and I was competing against Scotland, England and Wales, all of the areas you kind of felt like a big deal. If you came over and you beat the top British athletes, was just fantastic. And it was a real big deal for me, seeing the people who had won it before. I always admired Steph Twell, and Steph had won it, and I'm like, okay, I'm now in the same realms as Steph. So yeah, it was really special. And as well, I was then kicking about London for the rest of the day. It was out on my own and wasn't being brought by my parents. So yeah, it was a pretty big deal, and getting to bring that back home to Portaferry was something special.
Yeah, and you mentioned on the broadcast, you mentioned Steph there about, she was one of the people that you formed a sort of lifelong friendship with. It's not just about the running here either, is it?
No, it isn't. And you know what? Whenever I reflect on my athletic career, I'm approaching the latter years of my athletic career, and I'm chatting to Jess, and she's only at the beginning, and that's so exciting. And whenever I reflect back at the medals, the records, the times that I've had, the places I've travelled, the most important thing that I'm going to come away from my athletic career with is the friends that I formed along that pathway. And I know it sounds very mushy and sentimental, but genuinely I do believe that. I have best friends from my time in athletics, people that will be there throughout my entire life, and records get broken, medals get set aside and get a little dusty, but those friendships remain alive, and for me, yeah, that's the most special thing for my career.
And hopefully that career, as you're saying, isn't done yet. You've still got lots to do. How's the ankle and things after
so
year?
Obviously I had a tough end to the summer, being a European champion and coming into the Olympic Games. That was going to be my moment at the Olympic Games. I felt I was in good shape, and for my ankle to give in and to need surgery, so I had to withdraw from the Olympics over the summer. I've had surgery on the ankle. It's on the process back. I'm not in fighting fitness right now, but I'm on the way to becoming back to good shape, and my sights are firmly set on the next Olympics in LA, so I'm going to continue to work towards that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming in the summer.
What are you? Where are you on that sort of recovery stage?
I'm back running. I'm tentatively building back up. I do not doubt that I'll have a couple of setbacks along the way. I'm very experienced, and I've had injuries in the past, and sometimes I'm like, you don't want to count your eggs before they hatch, but we're getting there. I'm not going to set myself any obvious targets just yet. I've got a couple of quiet ones. But yeah, my golden aim would be try to be at the World Champs at the end of the summer. If that happens, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, then I'm keeping a level head, because yeah, that next cycle towards LA is really where all my focus is.
Have you learned a lot from the experience last year? As you say, you went from this massive high of the European title, then the injury sort of strikes. Has it been difficult to cope with?
Oh, it most certainly has. It certainly has. And if I wonder what have I learned from it, I think I'm still in that learning cycle and that learning curve. It is always tough to be disappointed with something that happens, and to feel like, for me, that was the death of a bit of a dream for that Olympic goal then. I've learned a lot throughout my career, the resilience required to get through injuries. Realising who you have in your corner is something that's truly beautiful, and it's in those moments of your lowest ebb that you realise who's there to put their hand down and help you back up. So I feel very fortunate that I've built a really good team around me now that I know is going to stand to me going into this next Olympic cycle, people that have my back and that and that they have my best interests at heart. So yeah, it's tough. It's a learning curve I wish I didn't have to have, to be perfectly honest, and I wouldn't wish it on any athlete. But life has its highs and lows, and for me, I'm sure this low will make the next highs feel all the more sweeter.
I was going to say, you know, there is that sort of the cliche about you've got to experience the downs to appreciate the highs, but I guess when you're in the middle of the downs, it's like, can I not have to do this, please?
Yeah, look, I've had a few of them. I thought I've had my fair share. I'd rather not have any more. But yeah, look, it's the way with sport. We tread a very fine line between being in peak physical fitness and not, and being injured. And for me, I'd been managing this ankle injury for a number of years. For 8+ years I've been dealing with this. I realised just the amount of abuse I'd put my little ankle through, and was still running well, coming 4th in the Worlds the previous year, finally getting my European gold. So I'd probably just pushed my body a little bit too much, but we learn and we rebuild, and I'm looking forward to that rebuilding process.
I was going to say, is there part of you that enjoys that process of you've obviously got a very clear goal to go after?
Most definitely. Obviously I prefer if the path was a lot smoother, but I don't mind the hard work. I don't mind having to be tough, and that mental toughness and that resilience that I have stands to me then. So yeah, it's a process of rebuilding that empire, and I'm looking forward to it. And as I said, look, sometimes experiencing those lows makes those high points even better. So yeah, I'm working towards that next high point.
And on a slightly different note, as someone who knows the 1500 very well, knows the mile very well, I just wondered what you thought of Faith Kipyegon's project about trying to go under 4 minutes.
Do you know what? It's been discussed. I've listened to podcasts where people ask, do you think there will be a sub 4 minute mile for a woman? And it's interesting, the question that will be set a certain time on human performance. If there's anybody that can do it, it will be Faith. So I'm excited to see what she can do. It's a big jump from 4:07 down. I was there and was in the race whenever she set her world record over the mile, and was able to set a good time myself. So now, you know, she's moving the barriers, she's moving those goalposts for all of us. And look, listen, fingers crossed, because I know she'll be working hard. The question is, who can pace somebody to a time that fast?
Yeah. I mean, and there's some people who will see these things. They said the same thing about Eliud Kipchoge's sort of marathon project. Oh, it's nothing more than a publicity stunt. But if it gets people talking about the sport, looking at what you guys are doing, moving these barriers, as you say, it's worth doing. Oh, look, definitely. Sport is a form of entertainment. It really is. And sometimes, of course, it's my whole life, and it's all of our athletes' lives and process. But it is a form of entertainment. People come to watch and be entertained. I know I would certainly be entertained watching a woman go sub 4 for the mile. If it brings that energy and that publicity to your sport, then it's wonderful. But I think it's also about pushing the limits of human performance. It's about seeing what we can do, and that's exciting too. So yeah, if it's exciting and good entertainment at the same time, well, look, that's a win-win.